As every pay-per-view, the WWE Network is going to be having a kickoff show to get you in the mood for Elimination Chamber. What they are using this month to try and get you hooked to make sure that you're going to be watching the show is that they're going to be doing a Miz TV with Daniel Bryan before the chamber kicks off, trying to get everybody seated down and get everybody ready for what's going down. I seem to remember them doing this a lot with Daniel Bryan last year when he was going through the same troubles of basically being on the injured list and not being able to know when he was going to be able to return. So it seemed like every month they wheeled Daniel Bryan out to the ring, whether if it was on Miz TV or just some sort of an interview to sort of kick off the show, thinking that people would be using Daniel Bryan as the reason why I have to be sitting down and why I have to be watching the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Honestly, in my mind, I think everybody knows that nobody knows what's going to be happening with Daniel Bryan. And if Daniel Bryan's going to be having a huge announcement about when he's going to be returning to the WWE, it's going to be taking place on Monday Night Raw, the flagship show that they know everyone is watching. As you can tell by this, pay-per-view sprouting out of the middle of nowhere with only 2 weeks build, the Elimination Chamber, honestly, in my mind, is a gimmick to try and get the WWE Network over because they know everyone is not watching the WWE Network. They don't know if people just don't want to pay the $9.99 in order to subscribe, or if people don't know how to watch, they don't know how to get it. Honestly, in my mind, the WWE Network is one of the best things going out there today. I mean, easily to only pay $10, and especially a month like this month, get the NXT special as well as 2 WWE pay-per-views, really delivering. I mean, where else in the world are you going to get something like that for only $10? That's going to be A-quality stuff that's going to keep you entertained for 2 hours for the NXT show and 3 hours for each WWE pay-per-view. Daniel Bryan and The Miz, they do have their history that goes along with them. Of course, when Daniel Bryan broke into the WWE as a member of the NXT Season 1, The Miz was his pro. I was going to call it his protege, but that doesn't fit. And as his pro, he had a history in WWE. I believe at the time he was the United States champion. The Miz was trying to say how much he had really accomplished inside of WWE, while Daniel Bryan was saying he'd been wrestling longer than him and he had been a bigger star on the independent circuit, and everybody already knew who he was. He didn't need somebody like The Miz teaching him, what to do. If they play off of that, I think it could be fun with Miz trying to hold him down. But of course, this is Miz's comeback to WWE since making the movie with Paige that we should be seeing this Christmas. He won the right to keep his gimmick from Mizdow on Monday Night Raw a few months back. And since then, we've been waiting to see his return. And with Miz returning at the Elimination Chamber kickoff show, doing Miz TV, you can sort of tell that WWE doesn't have any plans for Miz. I know that there's an injury with Rusev inside of the Elimination Chamber match, which if Rusev is injured and is not going to be able to wrestle, it would need to be filled. But we will have to see what goes down with that. The first word that I've heard is that it's rumored that it might go to Bray Wyatt. But The Miz would be an awesome person to break into that match. Even if he doesn't win it, he puts him into a spot where you can see he's at least at the top of the mid-carders to get a spot inside of the Elimination Chamber with R-Truth involved in it. So, more word to come on the Rusev injury as soon as it pops up, but I'm not really looking forward to anything really happening in this kickoff Miz TV with Bryan and Miz. If Bryan's going to be announcing that he's making his return to wrestling and he's made quick recovery, they figured out what's wrong with him and they're going to be able to fix him, it's going to happen on Monday Night Raw, not on the Elimination Chamber kickoff show.